Hello, welcome to the video tutorial on Unit 1 on the balance sheet. I have to assume now that you've got a blank balance spreadsheet open, and if you want to stop the video anytime you should in order to try and catch up. What I've done on this video is, if you observe, there are the three pieces of text in column A. That's the heading balance sheet, A3 fixed assets, A12 current assets. All that's in there is text. Now that's shown up here in the formula bar. So all you need to do, enter text in, just type the text, and that's what I've done here. So the fixed assets we've made up of a factory building, machinery, office furniture and computer equipment. Okay, the text is just typed in. The current assets, we've got inventory, cash at the bank, accounts receivable, provision for bad debt, deal with that in a minute, office and computer supplies, and some insurance has already been prepaid. So let's go back to the fixed assets. The factory building, 65,000, that's text, that's shown up there. Now the dollar sign in front is because I've formatted it, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Against the machinery, we have a provision for depreciation. So the machinery is actually worth what we paid for it, 8,000, less the provision for depreciation, as explained in the unit of the book. And the same applies to office furniture and computer equipment. Each have their own provision for depreciation. Now what I'm going to do is move that factory building over to here. I'm going to put it into column D. And the provision to depreciation taken off the machinery gives us the net book value, as explained in the unit. So in D6, I'm going to put in a small formula to calculate that for me. Now on the keyboard I press the equal sign, and that starts the formula, as you can see up in the formula bar. And I'm going to click on C5, then press the minus key and click on C6. I press the enter key on my keyboard and the computer calculates the net book value. Repeat that. For office furniture, equal the 12,000, just click on it, minus the provision for depreciation on office furniture. And then exactly the same for computer equipment. So I'm going to widen that cell, just open it. Open the cell by dragging the column width. And I'm going to add these four figures together to give me the total value of fixed assets in E10. Now, I'm going to click the home key up in the corner here to give me this ribbon across the top. And over here is an auto sum. So I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to ask the computer to calculate the sum. So clicking on the sum and highlighting these four figures here. And then either press the enter key or the tick button up here. Now practice this. It's a useful set of skills. Next we move on to the current assets. The inventory, cash at bank, accounts receivable. There's one little anomaly there. The actual accounts receivable are worth. Again, we're going to apply the same principle as we did above. Is actually worth the accounts receivable less the provision for bad debt. Enter. So it's 100 less 1 is 99. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these across. These figures, these two cells here across. So the figures that I need to add up are now all nicely lined up. Office computer supplies and insurance prepaid. So all these are current assets. And again, calling on the auto sum, choose sum and get the computer to add those figures up. Click on the enter key, enter tick, or press the enter key and we're there. So what's needed next? Well, next we're going to move on to the current liabilities. So again, all you have to do is type the text in. Okay, now I'm going to press the key down, give myself some space here. So I've got accounts payable, there's wages owing. Remember, all these represent money we're going to have to pay. There's a utility bill there, and we've got tax due. All these represent money that we're going to have to pay in the near future. Now in the chapter we've set that to 1100. Now notice, if you make a mistake, just go back, retype the text or number back in. Right, no need to delete. So all I'm doing is typing in number. Now notice there's no format here. So I'm going to auto sum those. Add these together. And we now have the total current liabilities. So what I want to do is I want these numbers here to appear in dollar form. So highlight the cells. Now on the mouse key you can right click your button and ask the computer to format the cells. And you'll see there's quite a lot of options up there. So we keep it simple for now. Under number we've got currency, and I want the currency in dollars, but I want to set that to 0 decimal places. Press OK, and now I've got something that looks a little more readable. Now the working capital. I'm making mistakes, so all I'm doing is pressing the back key to retype the text, exactly the same as a word processor. Now the working capital, this I'm going to put it in E26, is equal to the total of the current assets less minus the total of the current liabilities. Press enter. And I have a working capital 1899. I'm going to go back there. If you want to make the format look a little bit more fancy, then the keys up here will help you do that on the ribbon. I'm going to press bold, and these are alignment keys over here, all this, and I'm going to align it. I'm actually going to move that across. Again, move across I'm also going to go up and I'm going to move the fixed assets across. The reason why is because the net capital employed, which basically represents all the assets of the business less the current liabilities. Now right click, right align, bold, and then go to cell F27 because that's where I've decided to place it, and that equals the fixed assets minus the working capital. Now you know that's wrong. Should be added. So having made the mistake, rather than retype it, I'm going to go to the cell, press key function F2 and alter the minus sign to a plus sign. And that is now the correct figure. Now if you're not satisfied because you can't see all of the text, we'll deal with the formatting in a second. But the balance sheet, let's highlight that title. Highlight all the cells and go up to merge and center. I've got the facility here to increase the size of the text. I'm going to delete that line, so I'm going to click on the two, right click, delete the line. So delete a line, click on the line number, right click, delete. Go to the line number, delete, and so on. Okay. So we have it. Almost there, almost there. Let's go on to view and zoom to 75%. Now we can see the whole picture. Now for ease of viewing, I'm going to highlight the whole of that, right click, format the cells, go to border, place a border. You can have, I'll make a better job of that, format the cells, choose the border, outline, click OK, and feel free to play around with it. For example, the balance sheet, if you wanted that highlighted, on the home key you can just pull down this paint pot and place a colour of your choice in there to highlight the cells. Alright, presentation's very important in accounting. We can see that the current assets looks different in font size to the current liabilities. So here's a little trick for you. This format painter, if you click on the current assets, click on the format painter and then click to where you would like to see the same format, that can save you a little bit of time. Okay. What we now have is a simple balance sheet that shows us the net capital employed and how that's broken down between fixed assets, current assets, and current liabilities. I think in the next section we'll have a look at the financed by.